Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going to be exploring how games can help students learn chemistry,
Yeah.
especially for secondary school students.
Uh,
And you're interested in a mobile app from Singapore called wRiteFormula,
right.
and it's designed to help students learn one of the hardest parts of chemistry,
Oh, yeah.
ionic compound nomenclature.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, ionic compound nomenclature is basically like the language of chemistry.
Okay.
It's how scientists can communicate with each other about what's in these different chemical compounds.
Interesting.
And that this app is helping students become fluent in that language,
Right.
which is super important if they want to understand more complicated chemistry stuff later on.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny because I remember struggling with that back in high school myself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all those charges and subscripts, it
Yeah.
just seemed like a jumbled mess to me.
Totally.
I wish wRiteFormula had been around back then.
Yeah, traditional ways of teaching that stuff usually involve just memorizing a bunch of stuff.
Oh, yeah,
And that can be a real drag for students.
absolutely.
But this app is different.
Okay.
It actually makes learning this stuff into a game.
So how does it work? Does it just throw a bunch of formulas at you and expect you to memorize them?
No, not at all.
Okay.
wRiteFormula breaks down the complicated rules into smaller sets of compounds.
Okay.
So imagine a game where you're dragging and dropping these different ions to build formulas.
I see.
And the app will tell you right away if you've got it right.
Nice.
That kind of feedback is so helpful because you learn from your mistakes as you go.
For sure. And this isn't just some random educational app, is it?
Right.
It's actually connected to a specific curriculum.
Exactly.
Okay.
wRiteFormula is actually customized for the Singapore GCE ordinary and normal
Okay.
academic chemistry and science syllabi.
Wow.
That means that teachers can confidently use it in their lesson plans,
Yeah.
knowing that it's reinforcing what they're already teaching in class.
That alignment is really a big deal. It
Mhm.
shows that even governments are starting to realize how powerful games can be
Yeah.
in formal education.
Yeah, they're not just a fun little side thing anymore.
Right. But tell me, is it just a bunch of boring quizzes
No,
with fancy graphics?
not even close.
Okay.
They've really put a lot of effort into the game design.
Okay.
wRiteFormula actually has a bunch of different game modes
Oh, cool.
to help students practice different skills,
Makes sense.
which keeps them engaged and from getting bored.
Right.
And they have these things they call enticing game features.
What's that?
So that's earning rewards and leveling up and competing with your friends.
Oh, wow.
All that stuff that makes games so addictive.
Yeah, totally. So they're using that natural human desire for competition
Right.
to make you want to learn.
Exactly.
That's pretty clever.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard, it's not just the students who are benefiting from this. wRiteFormula also has some really great tools for teachers.
Yeah. It's got this built-in content management system,
Oh, cool.
or a CMS.
Okay.
And this gives teachers a way to see how their students are doing in real time.
That's
They can
ge-
see which concepts are giving students the most trouble.
I see.
And they can figure out which students need extra help.
Okay.
And they can even change their lessons based on that data.
So it's like having a personalized learning dashboard for every student?
You got it.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it is.
I remember when I used to tutor,
Uh-huh.
trying to figure out where each student was struggling. It
Yeah,
was the hardest part.
it's really tough.
This would have made my life so much easier.
Yeah, this kind of insight really lets teachers focus their teaching.
Right.
Instead of just grading a bunch of quizzes and crossing their fingers,
Yeah.
they can actually see exactly where students need help.
That's awesome. So we've got this app that students love,
Yeah.
and it helps teachers,
Right.
and it aligns with the national curriculum. Mm-hmm.
This is starting to sound like the holy grail of educational technology.
For sure.
So who are the masterminds behind this?
Well, wRiteFormula was developed by a team at the Ministry of Education in Singapore,
Oh, wow.
or MOE.
Okay.
And the fact that a government agency is behind this
Yeah.
really says a lot about how much they believe in it.
Absolutely. And it looks like 3 people in particular led the development.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Chi Hing Thong,
Okay.
Ms. Yuru Ki,
Got it.
and Mr. Chia Pei Xian.
Okay.
And they all work for something called TFL/ETD,
Right.
which I'm guessing is a department within the Ministry of Education.
Yeah.
These folks clearly get how powerful games can be
They do.
for learning,
Yeah.
and they've put that into action with wRiteFormula.
Yeah. And it raises an interesting question.
Yeah, what
Uh,
we've seen how wRiteFormula is tackling this chemistry problem,
yeah.
but I'm curious, how could this be used for other subjects?
Oh, that's a great question.
And it's something that people are actually looking into right now.
Oh, wow.
Like, think about things like history
Okay.
or math or even like learning a new language.
Okay.
These are all things that involve like memorizing stuff
Yeah.
or complicated rules or ideas that can be hard to understand.
Yeah, for sure. I can definitely see how a game could make those subjects more fun.
Right.
Yeah, instead of just reading a textbook,
Uh-huh.
you're actually like doing something and you
Yeah.
can see if you're getting it right.
And games tap into that thing we all have,
What's that?
that like
Yeah.
curiosity and that love of a challenge.
Yeah.
They give you a safe space to try things out,
Okay.
make mistakes, and learn from them
Right.
without like the fear of failing that you might feel in a normal classroom.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was never really into history in school. All those dates and names, they all just kind of blended together.
Right.
But I could imagine a game where you're like building a timeline or solving historical puzzles or something.
Totally.
That could make it way more interesting.
Absolutely. And imagine a math game
Okay.
where you use geometry to build stuff,
Ooh.
or a language learning game where you're like in a virtual world
Okay.
and you have to use the language to talk to people.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, the possibilities are endless.
This makes me wish they had these kinds of games when I was in school.
I know, right?
Like, I might have actually liked algebra if it was about, like, rescuing a princess or something.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
And that's the best part of this approach.
What is it?
It turns learning into an adventure,
Okay.
like a quest to learn new stuff.
I like that.
Yeah. It's not about just getting the right answer.
Right.
It's about exploring and discovering things.
So it seems like things are changing in education.
Definitely.
It's not just about the teacher lecturing at the front of the classroom anymore.
Yeah, it's becoming more interactive.
And engaging.
Exactly. And technology is a big part of that change.
How so?
Well, we have phones and tablets now,
Yeah,
and games are getting more and more sophisticated.
that's true.
So we have all these amazing tools to create really immersive learning experiences.
That's pretty cool. And it's really impressive that the Ministry of Education in Singapore,
And MOE,
yeah,
Yeah.
actually created this app.
it shows they're really committed to trying new things in education.
Yeah, they're not afraid to experiment.
Yeah, they're really forward thinking.
Totally.
They get that the world is changing,
Uh-huh.
and education needs to change too.
It's inspiring to see a government investing in something like this.
It really is.
It makes you wonder, what if every student had access to tools like this?
That's a great question.
Yeah, could we completely change how we think about education?
Maybe.
Yeah, could we make it something that students actually look forward to?
It's definitely something to think
Instead of
about.
dreading it.
Yeah. wRiteFormula is just one example of how games can help people of all ages learn.
And who knows, maybe one of our listeners will be inspired to create the next big educational game.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, the possibilities are truly endless. Yeah, it's really exciting to think about how much of an impact
Yeah.
these kinds of tools could have.
Mm.
We've talked about what wRiteFormula can do for
Yeah.
chemistry,
Yeah.
but it feels like we're just scratching the surface here.
I think so too.
Yeah, like we're at the beginning of a
Yeah.
whole new era in education.
Uh,
An era where learning is like
yeah.
personalized and engaging and, dare I say,
Yeah.
fun.
Fun.
Yeah.
That's a good word for it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the big takeaway here.
Okay.
wRiteFormula shows us how we can use technology
Yeah.
to make learning really effective and engaging.
And it's not just about making learning easier, right?
No, it's not.
It's about making it more meaningful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about letting students be curious
Okay.
and giving them the tools to explore and experiment
Yeah.
and learn at their own pace.
At their own pace. So what does this mean for you listening right now? If you're someone who cares about the future of education,
Yeah.
or if you're passionate about learning,
Right.
or if you just want to see how games can make a difference,
Uh-huh.
I think you should check out wRiteFormula.
Definitely.
It might just change how you think about learning and teaching.
It might.
And who knows, maybe you'll be the one to create the next amazing educational tool.
Yeah.
So go out there, explore, experiment, and have fun.
I love it.